I was already in church. And he asked them to come and call me from church. And they came to come and call the SSS. They came and said, Baba, I want to see you. You know. Thank you very much. My name is Ota Ogun, and I'm a senior pastor of Shinning Light Family Church here in Ota Ogun State. Okay, thank you very much for that question. Everything started with my journey to Ota, and that was in 1992. I did my Master of Science program in Animal Science at Ota University in Ife, and my intention was to actually proceed with my PhD program. When the Lord said to me that after my MSc, no to PhD. And it's like, God, why? Why will you do that? And God said, I'm sending you to Ota. And then, so I found myself in Ota. How? While I was still thinking about what God was saying, why would God stop me from doing my PhD? That was when there was an advert in the newspaper. I think it was then National Concord, specifically January 8, 1992, for a post of a feed mill supervisor in one of the biggest livestock farms in Nigeria, located here in Ota. So that's why I got to Ota. And when I got to Ota, I came for the interview. I passed the interview, I was employed. And when I got to Ota, one day I was asking God, why will you stop a man from pursuing his personal ambition? And God said to me, in 1986, you enlisted in my end-time army. This is your place of posting. And he left. So I remember that was true. We had a retreat program in my university then as an undergraduate. And during the retreat program, the man of God at that time, Apostle Sunday Pukola of Word Communication Ministry, was making the altar call. God is raising up an end-time army. If you want to enlist, come out, step out. So I went out. I didn't know God took note of my decision that day. And 6 years later, God was making a reference to that. That decision I took that day was what brought me to Ota. And so when I was working as a field supervisor on that farm, one day the Lord said to me, you will build for me a virile church in this land. Of course, I didn't like that, because people always create, make jest of pastor. Oh, it's because they are looking for money. And I felt me that wanted to do my PhD, and God said no. Now we start a church and somebody will be insulting me that it's because of money. So I didn't really like that. Until about 7 years later, when the Lord now said to me what he said at that time, that to build a virile church for him at that time, the time has come. So that's how the ministry started. And by the grace of God, we've been waxing stronger and stronger, and God has been so faithful. Thank you very much. It's always is a question that many people have always asked me. How do you cope? Now, what I'm involved in is what is called bi-vocational ministry. You are working, that means you're in a paid employment, and then you still combine with ministry. If I say it's easy, then I'll be economical with the truth. It's not easy, because bi-vocational ministry has its challenges or demands. Sometimes you want to be in church, But then that is when your employer is giving you an assignment. Let me give you an instance. There was a particular time when you have mentioned his name already. My Baba was president. And he came, from Abuja to Ota at that time. And I was already in church. And he asked them to come and call me from church. And they came to come and call the SSS. They came and said, Baba, want to see you, in the house. I had no choice. I had to follow them to go and see him. Now that's a major challenge, when it comes to working and then you're still involved in ministry. But then beyond that, I will not want to talk more about the challenges. I would rather talk about what I consider to be the blessing. The blessing in the sense that it helps me at the workplace because I carry the consciousness that people know that I'm a pastor. So there are things I cannot afford to do at the workplace. I can't afford. If they say people are practicing corruption, I can't afford it. The reason is because the Bible talks about let your light so shine before men so that they can see your good deeds and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So for me, that's a blessing because that consciousness that I'm a pastor and everybody knows that I'm a pastor. So there are things I cannot afford to do. And that's what I tell people, that many people could do many things. But me, even if it may be right for them to do or it's not wrong for them to do it, I know the things I cannot afford to do because I am a pastor. All right? And for the owner of the business, for those who know him, if you're a pastor and he knows that you're a pastor, you better continually behave as a pastor. Because that's Baba for you. If he knows you're a pastor, you want to be a pastor every time. That means you must live to that expectation, to that name. You can't be a pastor and then you are involved in things, shady things. He is one person who will not mind whatever name you call him. He will tell you to your face, if you are a pastor, you should be a pastor. And then maybe I should say this at this point. There's an experience that I had with the owner of the business. Since you mentioned his name, everybody knows Baba. And there was a particular time he asked us to do something. I think we had to build it was some houses for pigs. And the quotation I was given for the houses, I think was 10 million. So when I mentioned it to him, I said, sir, the contractor says it's 10 million. I said, I don't have 10 million. I will only give you 4 million naira. So I don't have 10 million naira for that building. I said, no, you won't have 10 million naira. What he was going to approve was 4 million naira. So I said, for me, it's like, how are you going to spend 4 million naira to build a house that the contractor said will cost 10 million naira? But anybody who knows Baba knows that, when it comes to money thing, Baba is very, very prudent. Okay? So he insisted that he was not going to approve 10 million naira. It can only be 4 million naira. That's one of the experiences I had with him. So I said, So he took note that I was shocked. And then he made a statement. I said, why do you say ha? Are you not a pastor? Go and pray. So I felt prayer, but I'll tell you, I took it seriously. I felt he wasn't joking. I felt he was introducing me to something. That if you're in a situation like this, take it to God in prayer. God always have a way out of it. And really, I went to pray. Guess what happened? When I prayed, God told me, change the design. So I took a decision, changed the design of the building, and I will tell you, we used 4 million naira that he approved to build 3 houses, and we had change left. So for me, I said I would rather talk about the experience, the positive side of the experience I've had, more than the challenges of bi-vocational ministry. Of course, people will call you a man of labs and all that stuff, but that's not what is very important to me. What is important is the benefit. It has helped my spirit, it has helped my faith.